We're live.
Okay, well, welcome everybody. We're really glad and happy that you have a couple minutes to spend with us. And for some of you, it's in the middle of scan day, so I know we have some people up at University of Florida that are with patients. So this is going to be recorded. So if you really like it this time and want to watch it again or show it to your family tonight, you have that ability. At any rate, do you want to start things off, Chelsea?
Sure.
She's on her computer.
So we are going to go ahead and do the Q1 PTO drawing. And everybody's name is in here that qualifies. So, all right, who's the winner of a free PTO day? Jordana Poe, congratulations.
Jordana's up at University of Florida. She actually might be scanning patients right now.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing about.
So I didn't tell anybody what we were going to do also is we're going to give away $100,000 today. So let's see who won this.
Have to be present to win.
Chelsea Lucas.
Woo!
April Fools. Just
Oh.
okay.
All right,
Okay. So funny. I forgot to laugh. So we'll start off with is the video first?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we start this, we talked about the last couple of meetings. We put videos for you to watch, kind of pump you up, and we thought, do we want one that really is going to fire everybody up or be thoughtful? And so we came up with this one, or I should say, I came up with this one. So it's a short one, and then I just have a couple comments afterwards to explain why we picked this one. And if you can hear it, please raise your hand.
Shoulder taps. So Tony and I are having lunch at California Pizza Kitchen the other day, and across from us I noticed this elderly woman sit down. She's dressed nicely and she's at a large table by herself for about 5 minutes, and then what appears to be her daughter shows up, and I don't recall 2 or 3 grandkids, and they all look spectacular, ready for a nice meal, obviously. And at about that time, a voice in my head starts saying, you need to go tell her how pretty she looks. So I don't even know if we're eating at this point or not, but the food arrives, check arrives. We're going to go down the walkway a little bit in this strip center and look for something. And that's the next thing that we're going to move to. So Tony stands up. I don't tell her any of this. And on my way out, I just kneel down and kind of get into this position where I'm in her level, right where she's now in her chair. And I said, hey, if nobody else has told you yet today, I just want you to hear from me how lovely you are. And she looks at me with a look I've never seen before and says, I know you. And I said, no, we don't know each other. And she said, I know your spirit. And it gets really quiet between us. And she says, my husband died a year ago. And that's something he would have said to me. And at that moment, I can't talk. I can't talk. I'm overcome by emotion. And I just hug her and smile at her through tears. And I leave. But here's what I know, and here's the reason I'm telling you this. I believe that God taps us on the shoulders and uses us at just the right moment. And what I know for sure is that she was blessed and I was enormously blessed. So I've learned in my life to listen to these shoulder taps because they do happen. And I believe the more that we listen to them, the more in alignment we are with God. And that's an awesome place to be. Shoulder taps.
So hopefully everybody could hear that. And the reason I picked it was each of us have decided to get into healthcare and to take care of patients. All of you do it on a personal basis where you're dealing with people every day. We do it from the home office by making sure that the company can support you and support the patients. But that's a conscious decision that all of us have made. And, it's one that I spent 40 years in this business, and I'm so glad that I have, and I'm sure all of you are too. So each one of the people that you're taking care of on a day-to-day basis, and we talk to this all the time, is somebody's mom, somebody's dad, somebody's brother, sister, somebody's child, and they're in your lab because there's potentially a diagnosis that we're looking for so that we can treat them. It's kind of scary. And so we always ask you to make sure that you take really good care of them and don't, treat, the next one the same as the one before. Each one's an individual. But the real reason I wanted to show you this was not, we talk about that all the time, but each one of you need to realize how special you are and the gift that you've been given. You, like I said earlier, you chose to take care of people, and you will be tapped on the shoulder, and always be ready for that tap. And don't be afraid to reach out to the people you're taking care of if the feeling's there. So I just wanted to pass that on to you, and hopefully you found it somewhat rewarding. With that, we'll get on with the rest of the show. So we go through our core values every time we do this, and I think it's something that we need to do. Hopefully most of you have it in your lab, and we'll do this quickly. Astonish customers and patients, and I think the shoulder taps is something that definitely talks about that, but also working with our customers, and we'll talk a little bit about that as we get into the presentation. Over the past year, having strong customer relationships have allowed us to continue to be in business and thrive. The one thing I talk about more than anything, within HCI and even on the different boards I'm on, I brag about our do the right thing core value. It's not always the easiest thing to do, but I guarantee in the long run, it makes life so much easier. And it's something that we've had to really focus on this past year. I think Stacy and I have had that conversation a lot of times. There was an easier way to shortcut something, but we always wanted to make sure we were doing the right thing with regard to our employees, with regard to our customers, with regard to our patients. And we're a team. And again, in this past year, that became very evident that we all had to pitch in, do things that we weren't normally doing. And it's allowed us to prosper. The fourth, we will not be deterred. I think that there were a number of times during 2020 that without that core gut strength, we would not have been able to get through 2020. And there are a lot of people that weren't able to. So that's definitely part of our DNA. And I told the team, we had a call Monday, all the managers, and I said, it's time to start having fun. It's probably one that we lost sight of over the past year, but we're going to continue to work with ways that we can try to make this job fun for you on a day-to-day basis, and maybe even on a special occasion basis. We do things like the Godiva and the summer gifts and the Christmas and holiday gifts, but we'll continue to find ways to make this a really great place to have fun and work. And I think we all know this. We focus on mainly nuclear medicine, nuclear cardiology, and echovascular work. However, we've done work with breast imaging in the past. We'll talk about this again in a little bit. We have some new ideas with regard to PET CT and MRI that we'll be taking advantage of. And when you're talking to people in the industry, friends, our clients, make sure that you understand that we do everything, whether it's financing, equipment.
And now what I'm gonna do, if it's okay with you, I'm just gonna take them and make copies.
Okay.
If he doesn't do it tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you here? You're here tomorrow?
Yeah.
Okay. So
Okay.
they're just in that little tray on the side.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. He said he was.
Okay, sorry about that. Somebody's making copies. So anyway, we do everything from the equipment leasing all the way through the marketing. We'll go through that a little bit also. We expanded over the past couple of years with George Washington University in MFA. There's a faculty group there to provide telemedicine. It's not taken off quite as fast as we wanted to, but what it has allowed us to do is get cardiology coverage at a lot of the sites. We've had some up in Kentucky area, throughout the West, where the cardiologists were playing hard to get. And as soon as we talked about bringing in MFA, they started playing a little bit better with the hospital. So we were able to get cardiology coverage. But what GW can do, and they've been doing this for a long time, they started doing it with emergency coverage for ships out at sea. They can do everything from emergency room to cardiology to neuro to stroke. So they can do anything. So if in your sites you see there's a need for a specialist service that they might not have or can't get, let us know so we can put GW in touch with them. Chelsea puts these presentations together from the skeleton and says, okay, Bob and Stacy, fill the stuff in. So she put in 2020, and typically what we put here is all the charts, how we did financially, you know, how many customers we have, all that kind of stuff. But I thought we'd do something a little bit different. And I thought I'd find 5 key words to describe 2020. And the first word that came up was, thinking back to last February, March, was scary. We were facing a pandemic that we've never faced a pandemic in the United States before. We've seen SARS come out of Asia in the past, but never really affected us here in the US or over in Europe. So when this thing went worldwide and we just didn't know anything about it, we didn't know whether we should wear masks, not wear masks, what the next step was going to be. It was scary. And it took me back to my father's mother, who, you know, had children in the 20s when we had the Spanish flu, and she lost a couple of kids to the Spanish flu. So it was just, everybody was thinking worst case. So it was extremely scary. Then you also add the business side of it, because we didn't know whether we could survive. We didn't know if we could scan or not scan. So it was very scary, and then challenging. You know, is another word that came up, because all of a sudden we're trying to juggle, how are we going to pay people? How are we going to keep customers? How, you know, what's the next step? So I think what we did from the home office, Stacy, James, Tommy, Mary Lynn, myself, Chelsea, is we tried to do as much education of ourselves as possible by reading, attending webinars, learning as much as we can. And then we started trying to provide that to all of you and to everybody that was our clients, or also even people that were in the rural health or the university-based community, so that they would have the information that they needed so that they could be successful. And it caused us to be extremely resourceful. We came out of this much stronger as a company than we went into it. We're much more well-rounded. We know more. We're much more nimble and quick as far as being able to provide the services we need. And I told Mary Lynn at the end of the year, we were talking about 2020, and I said, you know, I think I aged 5 or 10 years during that year, but in some respects, in some weird respects, and I hope you guys feel this way too, it was rewarding that we were able to succeed with all the challenges, being scared that we started off with in the February, March timeframe, that, you know, in December here now, in April of 2021, we're not through it yet, but boy, I tell you what, we've made great strides and we're getting pretty darn close. So I hope you understand, you know, we appreciate everything you've done. And we hope you feel as rewarded by being able to get through this successfully as we do. So in 2021, what are we focusing on? Number one, we would have never gotten through 2020 without great relationships with our partner clients. And we want to continue to try and cement those relationships. And we do that by just doing the best we can for them every single day. We also want to expand our services with those partner clients. And we've done that up at University of Florida, for instance, where we're adding additional services with them, out in Arizona, just throughout all of our sites. One of the things we're focusing on is trying to add additional services. Might be additional scan days, might be additional modalities such as PET-CT, MRI, et cetera. We're also expanding what we're doing with the nuclear and echo by really serious marketing efforts. We started that up, I guess, mid last year, right in the middle of the pandemic, and we've made great progress. And we have a lot of people throughout the US that we're talking to that I expect that will close for business this year. We're going to focus on cardiac PET-CT. We've not been super aggressive on that because I think a lot of that was more based on people trying to make money versus the clinical benefits. But now that as things are moving along with some of our more established customers, we're going to start talking PET-CT for them on the cardiac side. We're working with Alpha Source, which used to be BC Technical. to provide other modalities for us that we can offer, such as CT and MRI. We've had some changes over the year with our service providers. So we'll probably talk to you about some of the relationships we have with those vendors. We might be changing on some of those. So we'll of course give you a heads up and talk to you about that. We want to make sure we provide the best service for all of our customers. And my goal is, and hopefully all of our goal is, that we want to be the #1 provider of imaging services in the US. And I think that all of our customers right now feel that we are. We just need to get the word out to those that don't know us yet, that when you go with HeartCare, we definitely take care of you, and this is the company to be with to help grow your business. So this kind of spans 2020 and 2021. I think we went, I don't know how many years without losing an account. And I just wanted to share the first 3 with you, what happened with those. Shands Stark and Shands Live Oak are 2 small hospitals up in North Florida. Shands Stark was our first critical access hospital. Both were doing really well. They did nuclear cardiology studies, but also general nukes, and great relationships with everybody at the hospital. They were owned by a company called CHS out of Nashville. Those hospitals were sold to HCA right at the beginning, I guess, April timeframe during the pandemic. We had long-term relationship contracts with them. So the HCA didn't care. They just closed those 2 hospitals down, turned them into outpatient ERs so that they could feed the big regional hospitals in Live Oak and Gainesville. They've created 350 lost jobs in both towns. We've had numerous babies delivered on the side of the road because those hospitals are closed now. So corporately, not the right decision for the people of those towns, but we had to face the music and then close those down and find new homes for those cameras. In Stevens Memorial was a hospital we were working with out in Texas, about 2.5 hours west of Fort Worth. We were doing pretty well. Wasn't one of our best sites. The pandemic just killed it. And so we had a long-term contract with them. We sat down with the administrator and he said, can you guys just give us a break here? Turn it down, turn it off for a little while. And we said, of course, we're not going to try to make somebody do business with us if it's just not working. So we ended up pulling that one out. So we went from having no sites closed for I don't know, 5 or 6 years to having 3 closed. But the good news is the marketing effort I talked to you about, right in the middle of the pandemic, in fact, the beginning of the pandemic, Stacy had closed the deal in Arkansas at Howard Memorial. So I think you were out there in March opening that one up.
Yes.
So you can imagine that was something. And then we opened up Star Valley in Wyoming in September, Eaton Rapids shortly thereafter that, and right in the middle of opening up Delaware Valley up in New York. And we were able to repurpose some of the equipment so that we could move it from the sites in Florida and Texas up to those sites. So net add one. So all in all, not bad. So how did we respond to COVID? The first thing when we're reviewing this is communication. Meetings like this with you, phone calls with our partner clients, and the less work we did with the industry, which I'll go through in just a second. I know that we did have to, unfortunately, for a short amount of time, let some people go on leave. And I made sure that we called everybody that was out of the Jupiter area to make sure that they knew about that and what their expectations were. We went back to all of our partner clients and for the most part, cut what we were charging them from the initial fee to, bare bones just to help them get by. And then we provide a lot of information to the industry. We had an open door policy so that if you wanted to talk to anybody in the office at any hour of the day, we were available. And we were extremely flexible in how we worked with all of our customers and team members. One of the things that we did internally is we started doing Zoom meetings. I think we were closed in the office here for about 3 or 4 weeks. We did a Zoom meeting every day at noon so that we made sure that we knew what was going on, because things were changing by the hour. It's if you could remember back there, things were changing so quickly. We needed to make sure we were in touch with each other. And we've continued to do those meetings now on Mondays and Thursdays. Every Monday and Thursday we get together as a team just to review what's going on. And the furlough I mentioned, we brought everybody back as soon as we were able to get the PPP loan, and we brought everybody back with back pay so everybody was made whole. We provide education, and I'll start and I'll finish with communications. It's one of the things that I've learned during the pandemic that's made us a better company, and we'll continue to try to do that with all of you as well as with ourselves here down in Florida. I'm almost finished with my part of the presentation, just bear with me, but this is what we did with all of the people in our industry. On the top two, we had two docs that we had met at a rural health conference out in Arizona, Dr. Asfar and Dr. Sarko, yeah, Dostan and Ramsey. They're infectious disease doctors. So we did a couple of webinars with them, and we invited not only our customers, but anybody, 1,600 emails went out to anybody in the rural health marketplace so that they could tie into this and just get as much information. And again, remember, when this thing started, we didn't know what to do. We didn't know about wash your hands. We didn't know the frequency of that. We didn't know whether hand sanitizer was going to work. We didn't know about masks. So these guys were awesome. They answered questions. They put on great presentations. And that was very valuable. We had a lot of people that we don't know. We haven't talked before or since that attended us. Also, as you know, rural health is a challenging place to have a hospital. So we want to make sure that all of the hospitals knew what the federal government was providing. So we did a handout and a webinar on the CARES Act so that they could have that available. We provided information on telehealth because a lot of the providers, there were specialists that were coming in from the cities, 1 or 2 hours away, were no longer coming in. So they need to have coverage for those specialties. So we provided that also. So this is all provided, gratis to all of our customers and also all of those within the rural health community. And, did we make any money off of this? Probably not. Was it the right thing to do? Absolutely. And it's something that, again, we learned a lot from it. So I guess that's the value of it, but it was the right thing to do. So I'll turn it over to Chelsea now so you understand what we're doing as far as trying to grow the company.
So last year, all of 2020 and up until now, Jennifer and I have been making direct phone calls. As Bob discussed earlier, we have a database of about 1,600 critical access and rural health hospitals across the nation. And we've been calling them directly, talking to the CEOs, the CMOs, as well as radiology managers to see if, we can help in any sort of way at any new modalities. Also last year, we did multiple targeted direct mailers. I believe we did about 8 of them to all of those 1,600 hospitals. Oh, hey, here I am. And then, of course, word of mouth and referrals are always a little bit smoother conversations. We have received a few of those from prospects that we've spoken to and, kind of mentioned the hospital down the street was interested in potentially, starting an MRI program or getting some new capital equipment. So that's a lot of what Jen and I have been doing since the start of 2020 and really my whole tenure here. But I also do a lot of marketing for everyone's sites. These are some of the most current ones. We have done multiple on, the health and safety of the hospital there during COVID and making sure that patients are safe and our employees are wearing the proper PPE.
If this is something they want.
If
this is something you want just to have in your lab, just to have to share with the physicians or the providers, please just give us a shot. We can get this to you.
Mm-hmm. As for photos, I know every now and again I send out an email regarding trying to get some photos from the labs. But if you guys, over the next couple months can send me some pictures of your labs, your team there, if there's any events going on at your hospital, we would love to have them here at the home office. Also, I actually just decided that at the end of this webinar, I know a lot of you guys don't have your videos on, but if you guys would like, we're going to take a group photo over the internet. So if you'd like to join in on that at the end of this presentation, we will take a picture. Just wanted to go over some conferences now that the world is slowly reopening. There will be an in-person AHRA meeting and expo that we will be exhibiting at in Nashville in August, and we are also keeping an eye out and could potentially attend some of these other ones at the bottom. Oop. Okay.
All right, so I'm just going to review employee benefits with you guys. We pretty much go through these every time, but we do have some new people. So these benefits are for employees, and we'll start with the 401k and profit sharing. I know we've gone through this pretty extensively, but the way our 401k works is you are eligible after 1 year of employment, and then we have 2 enrollment periods. I believe it is 1 in January and 1 in July. And then with profit sharing, HeartCare at the end of the year looks at the profit of the company, and then a percentage of that goes into the employees. And
And I'm sorry, just, we're going to fund profit sharing again this year. Last year, we continued to do it, maybe not at the pace we typically did, just based on what was going on. But I think we'll do a minimum of 4% this year. We're seeing if we can stretch that, but we're in the middle of trying to get that all straightened out right now. Okay.
And the nice thing about the profit sharing is, unlike if we did a company match, HeartCare contributes to your 401k regardless of whether or not you contributed to it. We also have the health insurance that we made adjustments to. We have multiple policies to choose from. We improved our dental and vision insurance this year. Again, we gave back the 2 days of sick leave annually. We probably started doing that a year or 2 ago. We have continuing education reimbursement. We have a life insurance policy. We do require personal liability insurance, professional liability insurance that you guys all do when you onboard. You renew it every year. You send a copy of the receipt as well as the policy, and you are reimbursed for that. No call, that's kind of changing. We do have one site that is starting to take call, which was an internal growth with our Echo Lab at Wickenburg. I have sent out a couple of emails to our nuclear medicine technologists as I receive free CEU emails. Tommy recommended that in order to get the most out of the reimbursement, to join a professional society, because then you have access to the CEUs through that. Some additional, non-health and 401k type of benefits that HeartCare does is we do the quarterly paid time off drawing. And what that is you get 8 hours of PTO if your name is drawn. And the way we do that is if you don't call out during that quarter. So we don't worry about planned time off. So just because you took PTO doesn't mean you don't qualify. It's if you don't call out at the last minute, that's when you don't qualify anymore, as if you call out. We do the birthday gift card, year-end bonuses, high scan volume gift cards for kudos from patients, Godiva chocolates for your Valentine for Heart Month. We do the occupational week gifts, summer gifts. Again, we do profit sharing. We do have access to AFLAC, which you can get short-term disability. There is different types. There's like a cancer disability one where as long as you go and get your screenings, Aflac pays you back. We have a commitment to giving back. Bob and Marilyn are very generous in their donations to numerous charities. And we also have an employee referral bonus. So if you refer someone and they work for us and we hire them after a certain amount of time, you get your referral bonus, which I think is on the next slide because I do not know it. Oh, maybe not. Okay, so employee action forms, you guys should all be fairly familiar.
Could you try again?
Fairly familiar with that. If you're going to take time off or if you need to change your 401k contribution, all of that is done on the employee action form. If you don't know where this is, it is actually in Paychex, which I'll talk about later. Another important thing, and I know we talk about this all the time with you guys, we really need you to submit your daily volumes. It is done online now versus having to send an email or a text. It's all in one place. We can pull this up in an Excel sheet. We can filter it. This makes everyone's lives easier here at the home office and hopefully yours as well, just kind of being in one place. You just put in your name, what the date is, how many you did, and what doctors ordered. I mentioned Paychex earlier. The reason we switched to Paychex was one, to help make things easier for you guys, but a huge part of that was ADP was not capable of tracking PTO balances. That was a very huge part of that. So we were having to track everyone's PTO manually. Mistakes were getting made. So what we decided to do was make the switch to Paychex. It wasn't just for this, but that was one of the huge benefits. So you guys who accrue PTO, you can check your balance inside the Paychex Flex app. If you need help doing that, reach out to myself or Sheila. We can kind of walk you through it. I mentioned that the employee action form is on there. There's a spot in your Paychex Flex app for documents. So if you click on documents, you'll see the employee handbook. You'll see some of the benefits through our health insurance. There's a nurse, basically a nurse line, a number that you can call if you need help with anything in regards to your insurance, finding a doctor, etc. All of that information is in the documents tab. So if you have not gone into Paychex Flex and checked out the documents, please do that. It will answer a lot of questions. There's some helpful stuff in there. You can also view and print your pay stubs from the Flex app. You can view what health insurance benefits you're enrolled in. There are some training modules, one of them being HIPAA, bloodborne pathogens is on there, just things that you can access from a manager standpoint. There are modules in there about how to manage your fellow employees, how to get along with people. There's some diversity training. You can make some edits to your personal info in there, and then you can view your time cards at the end of a payroll to make sure that you clocked in on all of the days, or you clocked out on all of the days, or you didn't miss anything. And we actually have some employees who go in and do that, and we know they do that because they check off on it. So when we go to do payroll, we know that they have viewed it. They know they are saying, yeah, this is correct. And we really appreciate that here because there's no guesswork when we go to do payroll. This is a slide I was talking about on referral bonuses. So if you refer someone to HCI and they're hired after 3 months of their employment, you will receive a referral bonus. If it's a full-time or a part-time employee, that bonus is $250. If it's a PRN employee, $100.
Yeah. I just wanted to just put this slide on here. We are on all social media platforms. We post, upcoming events that we're going to, pictures from the sites that you guys are going to get to me going forward. And we also send a lot of mass emails to the whole company, and they come from info@HeartCare Imaging. So we just wanted to make sure that you guys are not missing these, or that, they don't go into your spam or junk folder. So just make sure that you're getting these emails, and if you're not, reach out, let us know.
One of the things that Stacy mentioned is giving back. A lot of you were part of this at the end of last year, where we did a 12 days of giving back around the holidays, and the reaction was fantastic. We did, and this was all employee picked as far as where we went with the money, and we'll do again next year because the reception was so good. And in addition to this, though, HeartCare, we believe in giving back to the community, and we've done in addition to this, giving back to churches, to a number of our customers that we felt we could help them out. Up at GW, we've sponsored some fellowship training. We've given money to the University of Florida for a cath lab, Jupiter Medical Center, Wickenburg Community Hospital. So we do give back. So if you can't, it's not an unlimited amount of money we have, but if you have some ideas, share them with us and we'll see what we can do. If we can't get to you right away, we will definitely keep you on the list and get to you when we can. But it's a big part of us, and we've given out, even during a very difficult year last year, a pretty decent amount of money. So we're getting ready for Modern Healthcare. Again, we hope you guys all feel that we're doing a great job with how we do it. I think the survey's coming out next week or in the near future. So we encourage you to fill it out, and let us know what you think. We would be very blessed to win it a 5th year in a row. It does help us. We learn a little bit more about you, but also helps us recruit really good employees when they see that we have this. Helps us with our customers also, and potential clients when they see this. So we have this.
You're announcing it.
Okay.
Oh, am I? Okay. All right. So in Q1, we usually look at the year before, and we figure out everybody's high scan volumes, and then we send them a nice little award in the mail. So let me. That was a drum roll. It was not static. So congratulations, Courtney, Pam, Lisa, and Jordana. You all were the highest volume scanned, both full-time and part-time nuclear and echo. Oh, and Tommy. So when we were crunching these numbers, we also found that Tommy,
He's the manager.
our manager in
Since he's the manager, he doesn't get any gifts.
That was Bob's rule. So Tommy, congratulations too. You're also
Honorable mention.
an honorable mention of one of the highest part-time echo scanners. How about you do the employee of the year?
So we also announced the employee of the year at this time, and in the employee of the year, we get a bonus and a trip. And so we're excited about this, and we'll finalize the details of where with COVID. It's a little dicey on trying to pick a place right now, but we're really excited about these two people. We actually split this award. So if you will, with the drum roll. Okay, or no drum roll. So I'll start with Derek, who works out at Wickenburg Community Hospital with us. Derek's extremely solid technologist, and nice high volume that he does out there at Wickenburg. Shows up all the time, just great personality, hard worker. And one of the things that he did this year that really stood out to us is during the pandemic, one of the people that comes in and fills in if Derek needs to take a day off or take an FTE day. So he reached out to that person who he had found out had lost their job, was not working during the pandemic, and had no money coming in. And he took some PTO time off so they could come in and cover him. And I just thought that was, really generous thing for him to do, and actually the right thing to do. So Derek, thanks and congratulations. Pam, I've known for a number of years from the CVC days now with Advent Health. Pam is a rock star. She I think probably does as many echoes as anybody I've ever known in my life, day in and day out under challenging circumstances, and does it with a smile on her face and never complains. So Pam, congratulations to you. We will finalize all the details of this, but we wanted to make sure that we recognize you today during this meeting.
Yeah.
So we're going to do a picture, but before we do the picture, and Stacy and Chelsea don't know this, so they'll probably be mad at me for doing this, but anybody that's on the call right now, or any technologist that's scanning and couldn't be on the call and can have their boss confirm that they were scanning, we'll send out a gift card from Dunkin' Donuts or from Outback. So thanks for being on the call and see it pays to show up. And I see Tommy's on there twice, but he only gets one gift card. So if you want to put your picture on, that'd be awesome. So we could just do a picture so we could put it on the website.
Nice. Great to see everybody's lovely faces. Hello. Hello, hello.
This is Sheila.
Oh,
Yeah, do we want to bump this up a little bit? This one's
No, I just turned mine on so that I wouldn't be like a blank screen.
all right. Hello, everybody. Great to see your faces. So on the count of 3, everybody just wave at the camera, and I'm going to take a quick snapshot and smile and give us your biggest smile, and we'll be done. All right.
Are we waving?
Yeah, sure. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Hey. All right. Great crowd. Great crowd.
Open it up for anybody.
All right. So now, if anybody has anything to say, you're all muted. Go ahead and unmute yourself. We're going to try to do this in a not crazy way. If you're allowed to. I think I muted everybody.
No,
right?
I think it said allow them to unmute themselves. Maybe I'm wrong.
Or if you do have something and you don't want to speak, you're more than welcome to write it in the chat box. And we can also share that way. Unmute everybody.
Hey, this is Dan Douglas. I just wanted to make a note that it's another week or two will be coming up on 3 years since I got out here to North Carolina. And thanks to you guys for the opportunity to allow me to do that. So thank you very much.
Dan, we thank you. You've been awesome up there, and real done a great job at Martin. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Hey, guys.
Oops, what happened?
Jen, you got muted again.
Jen, you're, oh, there you are.
My life. Anyways, I was just saying that some of you may know that my job at the hospital is kind of transitioning into a new role, so I won't be at Heart Care anymore, which I'm super sad about. But I just want to say thank you to Bob and Mary Lynn and everybody at the home office for being so kind and giving me the opportunity to do a new role at HCI. I really appreciate it, and I'm going to miss you guys.
Well, and I told Jennifer earlier today in our manager's call that we're like the mafia, so she's part of the family, so she never could get really away.
I'm okay with that.
Okay, well, I know everybody's kind of shy on this stuff. Oh, okay. Hey, Pam. Good job. Thanks for the message. Well, listen, thank you to everybody. We really appreciate you being part of the call. And again, communication is so important. It's what got us through this past year. Call me anytime. You can call me on the home office or on my mobile, email me, text me. We'll definitely get back to you.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thanks, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.